And you're welcome to our main discussion segment. If you just join us, this is the Wednesday edition of the Breakfast Show, coming to you live on the 7th day of August 2013. And I just hope that your morning is wrapping around quite well as we dishing out breakfast to you. We are going to talk about a way of inspiring you. We do science and technology on Wednesdays, and this also falls in the category as we inspire you unto good works. For 10 years, the Diageo Africa Business Reporting Awards has been running, and this year happens to be the 10th year running, a decade of awarding excellence in journalism, especially when it comes to reporting. And I have the singular privilege and honor to interview a brother, a friend who I have worked with over the years. But you know how the young people are these days. They move around a lot. It's good to move around. It's never good to sit at one place, actually. So, I introduce to you Thomas Nadi Bitilma.
Yes.
That's how you say your name, right?
Yes.
Congratulations for winning the best agribusiness environment feature, the e-waste menace in Ghana. This award is presented to Thomas Nadi Bitilma, ETV Ghana. Then he was, but now he's at Viasat 1. And this is coming from the Diageo Africa Business Reporting Awards 2013 that was held in London on the 17th of July 2013. That was a Wednesday. So how did it actually go?
It went well. It went well. For me, this is a turning point in my professional career. Initially, when I saw the advertisement online, I wasn't too confident because of the criteria. We had, they were calling for entries from both local and the international media, like BBC, CNN, Al Jazeera. So I thought that a local journalist in Ghana, I didn't stand any chance. But upon second thought, I decided to try. And then I entered for the awards. And I was just there one day when Madam Rita Roxon of Guinness Ghana, Breweries Limited, called me to inform me that I had been nominated for the awards. And I was so excited.
Do you remember how many of you were in that nomination, in that category?
For the nomination, we were 3.
Okay.
But I was told they received entries, over 1,000 entries across the world, from both local and the international media. Yes, and to be nominated, I felt privileged. And I thank God for that.
And when you went, how was the gathering like? The awards nice, the whole band and pageantry thing. How was it?
It was amazing. I met people that I never thought I'll ever meet.
Oh.
Yes, I met people from BBC, World Service. I met people from CNN. I met people from Reuters. And I mingled with them. I had free interactions with them. I learned a lot from them. And for me, it was a great experience. The nomination alone was okay for me because I wasn't hoping for too much. Well, I wasn't expecting too much.
I hope that you change that concept. Yes. Because a man's gift will send him before kings. A diligent man's gift will send him before kings. Yes. So congratulations one more time.
Thank you.
So when did it start actually? You saw the advert. When, which year, how many months ago, and what did you do in the process?
I remember 3 months ago. So when I entered, I just forgot about it. So Madam Rita Roxon called me and then informed me. So throughout the preparation stage, Rita Roxon helped me with the preparation and everything, my trip to London. And she even bought a Ghanaian flag for me. That when we go and we win, we'll wave the Ghanaian flag.
Why not?
Yes,
not?
To make our country proud. And she kept encouraging me that
that
will make it,
there.
yes, that is possible. That is possible. Everything is possible under the sun.
And then how did you feel? You were sitting in the crowd and then the category came up on the screen, it was announced.
Yes,
and
I was so tense because I was the only Ghanaian journalist there. We had 3 nominations from Nigeria. We had 1 nomination from Kenya.
In other categories?
In other categories. And then in Malawi, a journalist from Malawi also was nominated. Now, we went there and for once, I thought, wow, if I have other local journalists from Nigeria, Kenya, and Malawi, then it means that we might stand a chance of getting something out of these awards. So I just kept my cool, even though I was tensed. Madam kept giving me encouragement. Then finally the program started. When my nomination, they started mentioning the nominations and my category came. they mentioned my name. I was
And the
surprised.
winner is Thelma Vitoma.
Yes.
Then you go
I
out.
just stood up in disbelief.
Mm.
So I waved my Ghanaian flag, and there were a sizable number of Ghanaians in the hall.
Okay.
So they started clapping for me.
Mm.
Then I wasn't even prepared because I had to deliver a speech.
Mm.
You know, after the award presentation,
Yeah.
I had to deliver a speech. So I didn't even know what I said.
I hope that from this day onward, forward going, you'll be preparing
Yes, yes.
for all these big
It's
opportunities.
very important.
Yeah.
I think we should all know that there are so many possibilities in the world.
Mm.
Nothing is impossible.
Mm.
And now I understand why people say the world is now a global village.
Mm.
Because what you do here, you might think that it's not affecting somebody,
Mm.
or your work will not have an impact anywhere. But it does have.
Mm.
So we should all be confident in whatever we are doing.
You know
and
what
be
your
sure
problem
that-
is?
Yeah.
You need to change your name from Thomas to Ekuba.
Doubting Thomas.
Yes, Thomas.
Okay.
All right, so
Okay.
congratulations again.
Thank you.
Now let's talk about e-waste menace in Ghana. People have described us as the dumping site for all the e-waste. We've had several discussions, especially on the Wednesday edition of the Breakfast Show, because we talk about science and technology. Technology is now advancing to the highest. Now they say there's a Sony, I'm making advert for Sony, some Sony phone that everybody think is sleek.
Yes.
The next time is Samsung, the next time is Nokia. So we are all crazy for e-materials. What was your story specifically about?
Well, my story was on the menace of e-waste in Ghana, as the name suggests. I realized that there was a large stream of waste electric and electronic materials in Ghana imported into the country. Some of them under the guise of being donated to charity, but in reality they are e-waste. And some of them, I remember a research conducted by the Environmental Protection Agency gave a conservative estimate of 20%. So 20% of all the electric waste, all the electronic equipment that are imported, second-hand electronic equipment that are imported into the country are actually waste. You know, it's very difficult for them to safely dispose them abroad in the Western countries. So they see developing countries as the cheapest way of dumping the waste. And
Or it's our people who just collect them because they are wastefully available.
if they don't get into the country, I don't think they'll get access to it.
Oh, I mean, up there, they ship them down.
Oh yeah, that is another problem. You see, Ghanaians are so crazy with some Ghanaians, let me put it that way, are so crazy with this second-hand goods. People even tell you that the second-hand goods are better than
The new
the
ones.
new ones. So I visited Agboblushi some time ago. First, I did a story on the plight of children at Old Fadama. Then I realized that most of the children after school, they move to the scrapyard to burn the computers and the electronic TV monitors. So I followed up the story. I visited the scrapyard and I realized that it was a very dangerous practice because they were endangering their health and the environment. So I decided to take it on. It wasn't part of my news assignment. This was an entirely a project that I decided that it's a story that needed to be told and told very well.
You got a training from here that anytime I went on an assignment, look around
Yes,
and
yes,
do a feature alongside.
Yes. Top editors here really molded me. They taught me a lot, which is helping me in my professional career today. I think GDC is the best place to get your training from.
Our predecessors have always said it.
Yes, and Napoleon Atokito, my role model here, inspired me a lot. We have Gifty Auntie. We have Peggy Amadon.
You really want to mention names?
I
You'll
can't
never
mention
finish.
all, then I can't finish.
Let's go
The
back
people
to
went
e-waste.
through a lot. So I decided to go into e-waste, do the story. It was very challenging because I had to do two stories. Ekuba, you know how tough it is to do special stories. Back at ETV, we used not to cover more of program assignments. We do feature stories. So each day you do two feature stories. And I had to take on that one too. So I had to do two stories and still go to the scrapyard to shoot. So it took me like almost a month to film. Yes, so I followed it up. I spoke to them. I spoke to both local and international experts about the dangers of e-waste, and my discovery was amazing.
Share them one after the other.
Yes,
these children go to the scrapyard and burn the e-waste.
they burn the e-waste, and when I did the story, I fell sick for close to 2 weeks. because of the
The
toxic
fumes
fumes.
that
Yes.
are coming out.
And I was just imagining if somebody like me should just fall sick because I visited there
A few
a
times.
few times. How about those who are engaged in it on a daily basis and their children? And then I discovered that Greenpeace conducted a research in that area, and they revealed that the soil there contains toxic metals as much as 100 times above normal levels, which immediately tells you that all those engaged in the e-waste burning are polluted. They have their systems polluted. And it also has a negative impact on brain development in children. And these children are just school children. They want to make a living. So they decided to come to the scrapyard to burn. And in the process, they endanger their health. And then apart from the environmental pollution and the health impact, I was surprised to discover that most of the vegetables that are cultivated around that area are also polluted because of the toxic fumes. And then there's a close-by market, DABRA market. An expert at the Environmental Protection Agency told me that the vegetables there are equally contaminated, and it is risky to take.
So the ripple effect from, apart from the environment, getting onto the children, even the people who are breathing the air in the market area, as much as the cultivation of vegetable in the soil,
and even the vegetables that are sold
there,
yes,
also get
polluted. So you might go for a conference in a hotel somewhere. You don't know where the vegetables are coming from. They might be coming from agriculture, and you take them. Later on, you'll be having complications and health complications, and you will not understand where you got those.
Did you realize that we have pockets of these kind of businesses of burning e-waste or trying to deal in e-waste happening around the country, or it's predominantly in that particular area?
I think Agbogbloshie is the biggest scrapyard in Ghana, but we have other activities taking place in parts of the country. In Cape Coast, I remember in Cape Coast, I was told there's e-waste. A lot of children are also engaged in e-waste in Cape Coast. But because of resource constraint and other things, I couldn't move to Cape Coast. I had to concentrate on the biggest scrapyard in Ghana here and in Accra.
Apart from the health discoveries that we were able to find out from the activity, what were some of the other issues that came up concerning the particular e-waste that will cause the most harm? Is it a computer, the TV monitor, or any electronic material or gadgets that is disposed has the potential of bringing out some of these effects that you found out from?
I think the danger lies in burning, the crude method they use to extract the precious copper that they so desire. That is where the danger lies. So it doesn't matter whether it's a computer monitor, it's a TV monitor, it's an electronic iron or a refrigerator. Once it is set ablaze and the toxic fumes get into the atmosphere, that is where the danger lies.
And that was the only way they could get the copper out of.
That is actually the cheapest way of getting the copper.
Okay, so basically that we having pictures on the screen. Can you imagine? But this is so obvious.
Yes.
With the thickness of the smoke.
The smoke, and you see, very young children engaged in.
So is this?
And some of them, sometimes the flames, the fire burn them. Yeah, I remember.
Quite hazardous.
Yes, very hazardous to human health and the environment.
And is this the full story, or these are footage
this
from what is going on?
This is the full documentary that you are watching. This is the full documentary that you are
so watching. In lining up the story, what did you bring out besides what we've spoken about, the effects on the people, the effects on the environment, even on those who are around the environs? What exactly did you bring out in the story that made you win the award, you think?
First, it was tough. Second, the story needed to be told. And this documentary has had a lot of impact. I did a project with the United Nations E-Waste Academy program because of the documentary. They watched it online and they got interested. And as I'm talking to you now, over 2,000 experts across the world have watched the documentary on YouTube. And we had an international conference in Ghana here. Most of them saw me and they got so excited. I didn't know them. They started mentioning my name because they had seen it. And there are other companies abroad that saw the e-waste, the documentary, and are interested in coming to Ghana to help see how best they can train the children on how to safely extract the copper without necessarily burning the e-waste. So it's really had a great impact. And for me, that is refreshing. I went into journalism because I want to help make society a better place. And the passion to make society a better place rekindles my passion for journalism. Yes. And for me, that is important.
That's quite important and quite good, and a very beautiful award to represent that passion indeed. And so now that you have that recognition, now that all these people are buying into the idea, or you have opened all of us our eyes, how is the picture looking in Ghana? We have all sorts of institutions who are involved and in charge in some of these things that we do. Have you had any interaction, any dealings? Has it impacted in any way in their business?
In Ghana, I think Ghana, we are still struggling to it's a global problem. E-waste is a global problem. Even in the Western world, they are still trying to deal with it. In countries like China, it's a huge problem, and India. So Ghana is still having difficulties managing e-waste. We don't currently have a legislation regulating the importation of e-waste, and that is the biggest challenge. Because if we can regulate the amount of waste that is coming into the country, then we can have a way of managing the ones that we already have. And the challenge too has to do with there's lack of education. Most of the children and the people engaged in it do not actually know the dangers that they expose themselves to, and they don't use any protective gear. And that is a major issue of concern. Yes.
But whilst we were putting the story together, you spoke with the people from the agriculture sector, experts from the Environmental Protection Agency. I mean, the experts you spoke to, have they been able to embrace the story afterwards, to know, to tell you how they're dealing with at least helping people to desist from burning in the first place, or managing the way it goes? Because the fumes are quite thick for you to know that, I mean, naturally it wouldn't be a healthy situation for the people perpetrating it and for the people in the environment. Do you think that there's been a dialogue or anything to help?
Yes, I remember the last conference that we held in Ghana with the United Nations. I met Mr. John Palmer of the Environmental Protection Agency, and he told me that they are putting in place a legislation. They will soon submit the bill to Parliament, and then see if they can get a law to regulate the importation of e-waste. And that is the stage we are now. We are at that stage. We want to get a law that will regulate the stream of e-waste into the country.
Yeah, well, the sad thing is we always leave things for long-term decisions and long-term regulation when we can do some immediate remedial activities or practices to help curb the reduction of the I'm looking at the pictures and wondering, after we've scrapped out what we need, what happens to the rest?
Yes, and another area that we need to look at is the Koli Lagoon. It's just close to the scrapyard. So the metals and the other parts that cannot be burnt are just dumped in the Koli Lagoon. And
the extra waste.
Extra waste. So as I talk to you now, the Koli Lagoon is a dead lagoon. Nothing can live
dead for a while.
It's been dead for many years. Yes, so that's another issue that we need to look at. That's another issue. But there's this, there's hope. There's this NGO, City Waste Recycling Limited. I'm constantly in touch with them. We are trying to develop an e-waste village, and what we're seeking to do is to get the people at the scrapyard, those in the informal sector, to be trained as to how to remove the copper that they want without burning. So it's basically for training. So we're developing it. It's still a concept that we are building. So if it is successful, will be one step in the right direction, helping to
so this copper that they get out of these e-waste materials, what do they really use them for? Did you get it from them?
They sell them. Basically, most of them engage in it because of economic reasons. So when they just get the copper, then they go. There's a weighing machine right there. So they just
Sell
weigh
it to who, and what is the
they sell
use
it
for
to,
it?
you know, when you go to the scrap yard,
Mm.
there are those who burn to extract, there are those who weigh, and there are those who buy,
Mm.
the scrap, and then they take it to Thermoport
Mm.
and export it. They export the copper.
Mm.
Yes, there are foreigners who will be waiting for them at the Thermoport to buy the copper. You'll be surprised. Yes. So it's a whole cycle. It's not just about those
That's
at Agoglushi.
That's copper from that corner there
Yes.
at Agbogbloshi,
Yes. Yes.
killing those young
Yes.
people.
Yes.
End up
Our
outside
brothers
the
and
country.
sisters are being poisoned, and at the end of the day, the copper that they remove is sent back to abroad to be used for something else.
Mhm. That's quite worrying. So the process goes on like that, and then
It goes on like that,
constantly
on
these
and
students.
on, and
Those who've been engaging in it, how frequent have they been doing that? Did you find someone who's been doing it for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? Was it a regular practice? Do they just move from one thing? You know, there are those who will put it on a truck and you see them collecting along houses and moving them towards that site that you did your story from.
yeah.
Has their activities been like over the years?
Yeah, as I said, they are engaged in they are in different parts. We have those who go to collect the scrap and sell it to those who burn,
Ben.
and those who burn will extract the copper and also sell it to those who buy it and then take it to the Thermoport. So it's a whole chain, and some of them have been engaged in it since childhood. They come to Accra with the hope of seeking greener pastures, and when they don't get what they want, the easiest way to get money is to move into the scrap business, and that is why most of them are into it. So some of them have been in that business for a very long time.
So from let's remove those who import the second-hand goods from that chain. Is it solely collected on the truck people who heap those scrap materials or the e-waste materials in the site, or we have other influences coming from how do they really get the waste in the first place, heaping like that over there for it to be bent?
Sometimes they even buy the scrap. I know, Ekuba, if I ask you, maybe you have an old refrigerator or fan or maybe mobile phone. How did you discard it? Maybe you just put it somewhere in the corner of your room.
Either give it to a
or
repairer,
or
you
somewhere.
don't want it back.
Yeah, so
or
sometimes
give it
some
up.
people too just throw it away. So they go around to collect, and then sometimes they buy it from people. They go to buy. They will knock on your door. Do you have any scrap or anything? Then you sell it to them. Then they buy it and bring it to the scrap yard.
But of course, the biggest people are those who import it.
Yes,
to be
yes, the
sold.
biggest, because it comes in large numbers.
quantities, yeah.
Yeah, in
Wow.
large quantities, yes.
Now the international community is concerned. You said the UN and everybody else who's seen it on YouTube, the 2,000 and something viewers you mentioned, and now the long process, Environmental Protection Agency and our institutions trying to get a policy. Does it look like there's a way forward to at least start from somewhere, stop burning? Let's find a better way of extracting the copper. Anything like that, making it illegal from the not illegal, but trying to put some. Is there anything at all starting from now besides the waste people that?
The Environmental Protection Agency has been struggling to get a legislation, but as I said, there's an NGO that is working in that direction, City Waste Recycling Limited, and we hope that if the village is set up, at least will be a step, one step to reducing the menace of e-waste. But I think it has to also do with education, and I'll call on all my colleague journalists to get into this e-waste reportage. We should start talking about e-waste, issues on e-waste, because it's very harmful to human health and the environment. To make it a major issue of public concern, because as journalists, if you report more on e-waste, the authorities out there will take us serious and will take the e-waste situation in the country more serious. Yes.
And now that we have the recognition, and we hope that things will work fast, but we still need legislation and then other things.
We still need this.
How does that make you feel? That even though people have heard about the issue, for one and a word, But I'm sure this morning, if we finish and we go, the guys will still be burning.
They will still be burning. They start as early as 4 a.m.
Oh, so they've even started burning.
Yes, they've even started burning a long time
And
before we came to the
is it
studio.
through kerosene, petrol? How do they light it up?
No, they use a special material. They use foam, this foam material to burn because that one is soft. They
And
just
it catches fire quicker.
quicker. Yes, so they don't use petrol. They just set it ablaze like that.
Is the
And,
satisfaction in the award, or you think that there hasn't been a rapid response to ending it, because the vegetables and the neighbors and then this environment and even the poor boys who are engaging in it are still inhaling the fumes, and we will be languishing in it at the end of the day.
yes, they are still. This award is not going to end here. It's just a motivation to continue the hard work and to continue pushing and educating people on the dangers of e-waste. I'm not ending here. I'm currently putting together a TV program, and then it will be in that regard. It will help educate people on some of these issues. The main challenge has been with sponsorship. It's been very tough to get sponsors. You know, social issues, not a lot of
Go
people.
to the
are
people selling e-material.
It's really
E-materials.
challenging.
Those who are
It's
selling the original,
the original.
the new ones,
The-
they should promote
I don't want
themselves.
to mention any brand's name, but
Yeah.
when you go to the scrap yard, you see a lot of well-known brands.
Oh, but the thing
Yeah.
is,
So they should even take responsibility. Those who produce the
brands.
electronic material, they should take responsibility. At the end of the day, if you sell it to the people, where does it end? You should take responsibility, and they should find a way of retrieving their materials when it goes waste.
that's what I thought some people did. They would collect their mobile phones back, and they
Yes,
would collect
yes.
some of their stuff back, and either remake it or
Oh yes,
something.
yes, they should do it that
And
way.
obviously, it's overwhelming.
Yes, and most of them.
When we keep as old as 10 years old and 20 years old gadgets,
Yeah.
and we hoard them.
Sometimes that's why we need education, a lot of education in this regard. Yeah. So if people are educated, you don't need to keep your mobile phones in the house. You need to safely discard them. City Waste
To
also.
where?
Yeah, City Waste Recycling Limited. They are especially into e-waste, and they have a very safe way of extracting the material. And every component of e-waste is recycled in a proper way. They don't just discard it anyhow. They don't just burn. They have a very safe. I visited there. It's part of the documentary. I even interviewed somebody who came from Agbogbloshi to join them, and the person was telling me his experience that back at Agbogbloshi, he constantly felt sick. It was unsafe for him, but at City Waste Recycling Limited, he
The
feels
proper way.
safe. He's getting enough money, and life is moving on well for him. So I think this is the direction we should go. If you have your waste or anything, City Waste Recycling Limited can come for it.
If it's
No
the
problem.
closest way of achieving an end to the whole menace there
Yes.
type of regime.
Yes,
Why hasn't it been easy for them to open up? Is it because they're buying it at a cheaper price from the scrap dealers, and so they find it very uncomfortable giving it out to them, or they really want it for free? What is the bargain?
It's because most people are not aware of them. The education is not all that much. It's just a new company that has come up, so they are still trying to expand to cover the whole country, so that at least they can help collect the electronic waste that are discarded across the country. Yeah, so it's a very new company, and they are expanding. So we're hoping that if the village is established, the e-waste village is established, it will help a lot, and we're hoping to get it across the length and breadth of Ghana.
So now that with your award you become an e-waste ambassador,
Yes.
are you planning on reaching the rest of the? What? Okay, let's answer this first. Then
Okay.
we explain what the award really stands for.
Yes.
The rest of the country, maybe speaking about the effects on the people, the effects on the environment, the effects on even crops and everything else. Since you indicated it's not only in Accra, but other parts of the country also, people are engaged in it.
Yes, I think that as a journalist, I have a responsibility to educate and to inform. And then one of the ways to do it is through the medium of television or print or radio, and I'm a broadcast journalist, so definitely television. So I just want opportunities in the various platforms to educate people about the e-waste menace in Ghana. And I thank GTV, sorry, GTV for this great opportunity. And I'm hoping that other channels will open up so that I can have the opportunity to talk about the e-waste menace in Ghana. And you know GTV is across the country, so as I'm speaking to you now, I'm sure a lot of people are listening to me, and they will learn one or two things from what I'm saying.
But would that be the only way to reach out to these people? Do you have in mind anything else? We talked about the program, the TV program you want to come up with.
Yes. The TV program. I also want to get some journalists on board, environmental journalists. We form an association and see how best we can push the agenda. I think that's my next target, apart from the television program that I'm vigorously pursuing.
I bet this copper came from some of the e-waste material that was made. What's the meaning of the symbol there?
It's bronze. This simply means news. It explained to me. It's like this gentleman is telling the other his friend a story about what is happening.
That should be a very interesting story because it's really realistic with the wrap at it.
Yes, it's bronze. It's made with bronze, plated with gold. Yes. And it's quite heavy.
I can imagine. That's what I was going to say. I can imagine it's quite heavy. I don't want to touch it. It won't be mine.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Well, so when is the next project? What is the next story you're going to write on? Diageo, they deal in all sorts of stories.
Stories,
not
business,
only
finance, a whole lot.
Or you want to concentrate on agriculture and environment?
I have a special interest in social issues, not only environment. We have a lot of issues that we need to look at as journalists, and I'm not into politics. I don't do a lot of political reporting. I basically report on social issues, and I feel that these are issues that have not been given much attention. Issues like malaria, teenage pregnancy, this e-waste menace in Ghana, health issues and all that. So that is what I'm focusing on, and that's what I'm currently working on.
Are you aware of the next award?
Well, I guess
that'll be 2014.
2014, right? Yes. The next award is 2014, and they'll definitely advertise. Guinness Ghana Breweries Limited will launch the award and then advertise the awards for people to enter. And I'll encourage all journalists.
Did it come with some cash?
Yes, it came with some cash. I don't disclose amount.
Oh, we won't take some. We won't take some. We only congratulate you. And if you throw a party, you just invite us.
I'll invite you. Don't worry. When I throw the party, I'll invite you.
Tell us the money. Is it pounds or dollars?
Oh,
it was in London, so pounds.
It's pounds, yes.
Hey. Congratulations. When you were hailing all the scrap, but
that's
flames,
okay. It's good to celebrate your
there.
achievement with a lot of people. I mean, with your colleagues, it's interesting, and that will even motivate other journalists to
most definitely.
Yes.
Well, so the winner for Best Agribusiness Environment Feature, the e-waste menace in Ghana, this award was presented or is presented to Thomas Nadi Bittelma of ETV Ghana, Denver, now of Bassett One. So keep up the good work, and then congratulations again, and enjoy your award, and we hope to see you the next time you win another one.
Okay, but I would like to use this opportunity to thank a few people.
Quickly.
Yes, Madam Rita Robson of Guinness Ghana Breweries Limited. She assisted me a lot. And then to thank GTV. I wouldn't be sitting here today if it were not to be because of the training I had from GDC. I had a lot of training from Greg Mingo, tough one, Titi and Betty Apau, a whole lot of them, and very experienced journalists, and I learned a lot, and that is guiding me today.
Okay.
So I'm so grateful to GTV for the training, and I just hope that they keep training other journalists.
The more you start mentioning
like
names, the more you start changing their pounds.
Yes.
And bring some across board.
And then there are other people who inspired me a lot, like my literature lecturer, Dominic Alimbe. I'm a product of St. Charles Minor Seminary Secondary
Next time, do you know what
and
we
a
do?
friend.
When you come, we just thank everybody.
Yes, I just thank everybody.
We won't have any discussion.
Okay.
We just thank everybody next time. So everybody who impacted in this young man's life, I'm sure you're proud after hearing and watching him, having gone all the way to win this beautiful award. So congratulations, they are proud of you.
Thank you so much.
I just hope that anytime you're misreading your word in the house, in the bed, I mean, holding your real Bible, you would have it on your phone to read on it. So, because of that, we hardly open the real Bible. Is that what this is all about? Let's watch this.
It's being described as the Christian sword, a compass to life and a source of inspiration. Indeed, without a verse from the Bible, a church service may not be complete. Members of the congregation often carry their